much do you think is too much friendly with the team?
I think it's before being friendly, I think it's important to develop the trust. The trust automatically brings in a friendly environment into the team. So it's important to get the trust, build the trust, and be a friend. So I'll give you one quote, right? Be a friend, don't be a buddy. There is a very fine line between those two, if you know what I mean, right? So I think that's what my mantra is. You create an environment of trust, and it automatically creates a friendly environment. But don't be a buddy. Right? You can have buddies, but not the people who you manage.
Communicating feedback can be really tough at times. How do you think we can do it without hurting the team members?
See, sometimes it's important that you give feedback, right? I mean, it could be negative. Positive feedback is always easy, but negative feedback, sometimes you have to be honest. You have to be honest, but I think what you have to do is you have to customize the message to the individual that you are delivering to, who you are delivering, what's the context, what's the background of such message. And especially if you're delivering a negative message based on an individual's performance, don't make it as a surprise. As a manager, you're always, it's important that the feedback is given in incrementals, in different phases. And I think if based on your feedback the performance has been changed, I think it's fine. But if it doesn't, then, and if you are giving a for example, you are letting go someone, I think it's important that it's not a surprise for them based on their performance. They need to understand that over a period of time, and then hence you are delivering this message. But I think it's important to customize the message to that context, to that individual, and based on certain circumstances. And I think if you kind of craft your message in such a way that you're delivering it in increments, and it's not a surprise, I think people will often accept it. People will often accept it and learn from it. But always it's not easy. I think you have to understand the background and customize the message to the individual that you are delivering it to.
Yes. So it's about customizing the feedback for that particular person and communicating it very slowly and very carefully.
Very slowly, very carefully, and over a period of time. Especially if it's a negative message, try to see that it's not a surprise. I mean, if it is a like a kind of an ethical issue, and of course it would be abrupt, and the message will be on the spot. You might have to make an ad hoc decision sometimes. If it's a really a bad circumstance, leading it to a legal or an ethical issue, you might have to make a decision that is on the spot. But if it's a performance related, make sure it is delivered in increments. You give the person a chance to cope up.
There are many situations where one has to take a call between a person's interest and the organization's interest. To be more precise, as a new managers, we are at times forced to take decisions that are emotionally questioning a person or the organization. It's not easy at all. How do you suggest we deal with this?
Very good question. I think we face this on a very regular basis, actually, where certain personal situations of an individual come, it kind of poses in front of you, so it's a very relevant question. But in my view, I think organization always comes first. To me, it's very important that, the reason why I say that is because the organizations are typically built on certain values, certain guidelines, and I think any reasonable organization will actually take into account a personal situation, how to deal with it. So I think your organization or the company is always like an umbrella within certain values, right? I think if you have those values and if you incorporate those values into your working style and not just remain on the the board or on your website, I think, and if you incorporate those into your operating style as a manager, as an organization, I think I'm sure you'll find a solution that you hit a right balance where you are actually protecting the interests of the company or the values of the company, and also giving a right balance or guidance to that particular situation or that particular individual, where you are dealing with. Because you might have to, like for example, the person is not able to perform because of a certain particular reason, but he or she is playing a very critical role for the success of the company, and that person is not able to perform, as an example, because of a very specific personal reason. So as a mentor, as a manager, as a leader, it's very important to kind of look beyond that, right? And it's always important to have contingency plans. This is why it's very important to have contingency plans in place, and have to ensure that for these kinds of situations you are dealing with. And that's why, I mean, like I said, right, it's very important to actually always actually, in my view, put company first, and then work with those through those values and take care of the situation of the person. And if there are any ethical issues or moral issues and stuff like that, obviously sometimes you have to make a tough call. If it is impacting the company or impacting the overall morale of the organization or the team, I think sometimes you have to make a tough call, all the way till leading to termination of the employment. But I think again it's all situational. It all again drives back or rolls back into the values of your organization.
Right.